What's up guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name's Jake. Welcome to the JD Cars Automotive YouTube channel. Please be sure to go check us out at jd-cars.com. Follow us on Instagram at jd.cars, and please be sure to subscribe for more content. Today on JD Cars, we're taking care of a very important order of business on the F30 over here. We're not only going to be installing a CSF front mount intercooler, we're also going to be tuning the car to stage 2 with boot mode. So if you want to see the final result of the tuning stage 2 from boot mode, stick around later this week and I'll be uploading that video as well. But I'm super stoked to finally tear the CSF intercooler out of the box. It's been sitting here for quite a while along with our other parts. This guy has been sitting back here collecting dust. It's finally time to install it. Yeah, she's heavy. It's a lot of metal. Oh man. He even gave us a spray paint stencil. I was not planning on spray painting this just because I wanted to keep it clean, but I don't know. We got a stencil. We might have to do it. CSF, baby. Okay, so it's black. Interesting. I'm interested to see if the rest of it is. Oh, it is. Very cool. That's gonna look so sleek. So just some quick information for those of you who don't know what an intercooler is. On turbo cars, the turbo, when it forces air into your engine, it produces heat, and the intercooler's job is to cool the air down before it enters the engine because we want the air to be as cool as possible, of course. So the CSF intercooler here, it has an exclusive rounded front face which optimizes airflow through the core, and CSF claims this can actually give a stock car up to 20 horsepower in gains. A tuned car can gain anywhere between 25 and 30 horsepower from just installing this intercooler right here, and you'll see why when I remove the stock one, because the stock one is about half the height of this. So we're gaining a massive amount of surface area. The CSF intercooler here boasts an 8 1/4 inch tall face. It's good for over 1,000 horsepower according to CSF, and it's the only true plug-and-play solution compared to other intercoolers that use top mount brackets and proprietary hose connections. As you can see, the CSF, it actually uses OEM or OE BMW style connectors, so it's machined the same way for a precision fit. And most importantly, we're retaining the OEM mounting position here with just those 2 screws in the bottom, and there's no cutting or drilling or anything like that required. It's truly plug and play. So we're just gonna be able to toss it right into the car. All right, so this stencil just looks way too good to not paint it, especially being red on black. So here we go. So removing our felt belly pan here will expose the intercooler up front. It's just below our radiator and it's actually connected to our radiator fan. So we're gonna have to pull out these 2 little clips at the bottom. But first and foremost, what we're gonna wanna do is release our clips going to the charge pipe right here. I do have an aftermarket charge pipe. I have the FTP aluminum charge pipe kit, so I don't need to remove the plastic release clip on the back. I can just pull this clip out like so and carefully set that aside. Over on this side, I still do have the stock setup, and if you have your stock charge pipe, this is what you're gonna have to deal with. This little plastic clip on the back. I've already released it, but as you can see, this little plastic clip you need to push down and that should release it. It has these little clips on the end. Difficult to explain, but easy to execute. So just press down and release that, and then you can come back in with your pick tool. You're gonna have to release this clip as it's in a locking position. There we go. So obviously a much more annoying setup to deal with, the stock spring setup here, but just pull it out as you did with the charge pipe. At this point, our piping is all disconnected, so we're gonna remove our 2 T25 screws. Thing we're replacing these with new fasteners because that one is all stripped out. But at this point, the intercooler is nice and loose. We just have to get it disconnected from the fan shroud here. So looks like just pulling back these little clips right here should release it. We're just gonna gently coax it out of our pipes. Jeez. Woo! There we go. That was a tight fit on the charge pipe, but we got her off. Here's our stock intercooler. As you can see, it's absolutely tiny compared to our new CSF one. Glad we're installing that bad boy, but let's go compare them on the workbench. All right, so quick note before we compare the size of these two guys. You guys probably saw the clip where I pulled the stencil off of the intercooler after spray painting it. So not only did I make the rookie mistake of not covering up the sides and I got a little bit of red, just a little hint over there, but the stencil does not work as well as you're seeing right here. This is after lots of sharpieing around the edges to crispy things up, because inevitably, unless you're in completely still air and you get this completely flush against your intercooler, ideally you would want to put like adhesive on the back of this and cut it out to the exact shape. You're gonna have overspray that drifts in to unwanted places and gets on fins where you don't want it. So personally, I just took a black Sharpie before. I was gonna scrap the idea. I was gonna just black spray paint over this, but I decided to give it a shot with a Sharpie to crispy things up, and I'm pretty happy with how it's looking, so we'll keep it like that for the time being. But now, more importantly, look at the size difference of these intercoolers. That's just, it's crazy. The stock intercooler is just about the height of just the back portion of our new CSF intercooler here. This puppy is a lot taller. Stock intercooler is less than 6 inches tall, and our new one is 8 1/4. So huge improvement in terms of surface area. You can feel the increased weight. So this is gonna provide a ton more cooling, and it's also gonna look cool while it's doing it. Now, as I mentioned under the car when I stripped out that Torx bit, we did get new hardware, some washers and longer screws, just to support the extra weight. And that washer is necessary because this is a pretty big area. It's not a tight little hole, so we're gonna have to position our washer underneath here so that it doesn't slip through or out. And that's probably the only trick we're gonna have here. As I said, the connections, hose connections are the same exact style as our BMW ones, so should be pretty easy. I think I'm gonna, I don't know, grease these up a little bit just to make installing them a little bit better, because you guys saw I did struggle with the charge pipe, very tight connection. But I'm just gonna lightly lubricate these up. We'll hop onto the car, get it into place. Got my baby here. Got my baby. Ready to go in. Here we go. All right, well, after an awful lot of fussing around and a lot of swearing, I got the CSF intercooler installed here. One of those things where you certainly don't have a lot of fasteners. You have 2 fasteners and 2 clips, which makes it seem easy, but all that room, there's like, I don't know, 1/2 inch of wiggle room. And because there is room and you can move the thing back and forth and the pipes can move back and forth, it can be difficult to get those clips back on the pipes. My only word of advice would be, if your fan shroud is getting in the way, you can take a bungee cord and lightly secure it to one of these bars over here to get it out of your way a little bit. That helped me. Lubricating the intercooler flanges definitely helped. And then my order of operation, basically what I did was I lifted it up into place. I had my screws and washers ready to go, and I got it up into place, guided my pipes into place, and then before I even had them connected or fitted or anything, I got my screws lightly fitted into the bottom of the intercooler, got them in there, and as I went, I just zipped them up on each side, got it up and installed, and then I fussed with our hoses, and then I fussed with our pipes. Of course, putting that plastic little clip on the back was a really fun time. Make sure your arrows are pointing downward so you don't have to mess around with that. But finally got her in, and it's time to put the belly pan back on. Take her for a rip. All right, so that wraps up the installation of our CSF front mount intercooler on our BMW F30 here. The installation process is gonna be virtually the same for any model. Pretty straightforward. It took me maybe an hour while filming it. We're gonna pull the car outside. I'm gonna show you what it looks like in the sunlight with our new nice black intercooler with the red CSF on it. It also does come in silver, by the way, but we're gonna pull it outside, show it to you in the sunlight. We're not gonna do any driving because it's gonna have very nominal power, isn't gonna be very noticeable on this car. But tune in next week for sure, because we're gonna be doing a stage 2 tune on the car, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Alright, never mind. Not a whole lot to show you guys because the intercooler is not getting hit by the sun. Maybe if I flip the car around and the whole front end is in the shade, but only the bumper is getting hit by the sun right now, so you can't really see the intercooler. Let's try flipping it around real quick. Sammy says we still can't see it. Let's find out. Oh, a little bit more. Not really. Yeah. Anyways, I do like the look of the black intercooler over the stock silver one. That is a nice improvement aesthetically, but we really just did this for the performance gain and the cooling gain, being able to handle our performance tune, which is going to be taking place next week. So tune in for that video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go leave a like down below. I'd like to pay a huge thank you to Sam for, can't talk. I need to like think before I talk. Thanks to Sam for coming over, giving me a hand. He's gonna be helping me with the boot mode tune. I'd also like to pay a huge thank you to Keys Motorsports for making this video possible. I'll have links to Keys Motorsports down in the description below. Be sure to go check out Keys Motorsports for any BMW parts you may need. They have one of the biggest selections and a huge array of very helpful DIY videos. But that's gonna wrap things up for today. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys next time on JD Cars.